Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be all about makeup and tips and tricks that I've learned online in the past couple of months, just being on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. Like most of us, being in quarantine has been quite heavy on the mind and creativity around here, with me at least. So I've been going to TikTok, social media, Instagram, Pinterest, and just trying to find new things that I can try out and experiment with and just like spark some motivation over here with makeup and all of that, because I haven't uploaded like true makeup videos in a little bit. Most of the ones that I have uploaded in the last month have been pre-filmed, so it's been a second since I actually sat down, just had a little chat and did some makeup. So I wrote down a little list of my makeup techniques, and I'm kind of going to go through them and just share how I've been wearing my makeup lately. Get a lot of questions about it on Instagram, and I feel like I've filmed similar tutorials before, but just gonna start here from like the very base to the end product. So what I have on my skin right now, I washed my face, did my skincare routine. So I did a toner from Ulla Henriksen, then I did my Tatcha essence, I did the Sunday Riley Good Jeans, and then I also used my Charlotte Tilbury Magic Cream Moisturizer. I cannot say enough good things about the Magic Cream. It's so good. I love it so much. So that's what I have to kind of prep my skin. I'm not even going to go in with a primer. I'm just going to go in with my foundation. And the foundation that I've been loving since the day it came out. Like, I originally did the campaign with Urban Decay for this when it first came out. And I've been obsessed with it since then, and I use this every single day. If I'm ever wearing foundation, this is the foundation. So for me, there might not be anything left in this one. This is my tan shade, which is, just caught everywhere. I do have another one I just purchased, so that's good. My shade normally, when I don't use tan, is 31 NN, and my shade when I am using self-tanner is 41 NN, so it's just the next shade up in the neutral range. Now, since my face is not tanned, I don't put self-tanner on my face, and my neck is, I'm just going to be matching it to that, so it might be a big difference on my face when you see it go on, but I'm going to lighten it up with some concealer, so don't be scared. I'm not trying to make my skin look too dark. I'm just going for my natural sun-kissed tan that I get in the sun, although I don't like being in the sun because it's bad for your skin. So I just use a beauty blender to kind of blend this in. Make sure if you do have self-tanner on that you take it down the side of your face and your neck so that you don't get clocked like I do quite often. Okay, done. The next step is something different, and I'm going to take a setting spray. My favorite right now, and for the last while, has been the Glow Recipe Ultra Fine Watermelon Glow Mist. So what I'm going to do is spray this all over my face. Next, I'm going to go in with my concealer, and this is actually way too light, but I'm going to make it work. This is the Stay Naked Concealer. This is in the shade 20 NN. My usual shade is 30 NN, but I'm going to do a different placement with this than I used to. So I'm going to go up my inner corner, down my nose, and kind of do like a tiny triangle. Then I'm going to do a little line on the outer corner of my eye, kind of going up towards my hairline, I guess. I'm going to do a little dot on my nose and then a little up in between my eyebrows, and then just a little something there. Blend out my chin first, then my nose, just lightly tapping with my beauty blender to kind of blend this into the foundation. Give a nice little highlight. When blending out this outer corner portion, I like to tap it in right where that line is and then kind of blend it down onto my cheekbone. This will make your eye look lifted. And for this inner corner section right here, I'm going to do the same thing. I kind of just tap it in place to kind of set that brightness right on that inner corner, like that. And then I blend it down my nose and then a little bit out under my eye. This will just add that like pop of highlight into the inner corner, which is what I want. And I make sure not to drag it down too far because I want it to lift my face. After the concealer's on, you can see that this kind of like lifts and brightens the eyes. I'm gonna take my setting spray again and just go over that. This is gonna help with the next step, which is a setting powder. I find that doing this step helps so much with the setting powder, so I'm using the Hourglass Mineral Veil, like choking on the watermelon scent. I'm gonna take this, and I just use a little fluffy brush, kind of like this one right here, and I dip into it, tap off the excess, and I'm just gonna press this under my eyes. Having that setting spray will help with the powder to kind of just soak right into the cream products and helps with creasing and looking just dry and like cakey. Also gonna set right between my eyebrows, my chin, and then areas where I get kind of like lines from smiling, so just around my mouth. I'm gonna tap that all around. Next up, I'm going to bronze my face, so I'm gonna be using my NARS Laguna bronzer, kind of skipping over contour. I really need to get another one of these. So I'm just gonna take a fluffy brush and kind of swirl it around. And I like to take my bronzer, kind of use it as a contour, which is technically illegal in the makeup world. I just find that that's what I like the most. So I'm gonna take this, you can kind of see where my cheekbones are, but to lift my face, I'm gonna go a little bit higher. So I'm kind of just gonna brush lightly up into my hairline. I'll do one side first so you can kind of see the difference. I'm also gonna add a lot right here on my temple, blending that up into my hairline to reduce the appearance of how large and in charge my forehead is. And then I'm gonna go right onto my ear and down the side of my face and under my chin and jawline, whatever this is called. For the nose, I kind of just brush over in circles, kind of darken my nose. Then I also squeeze the brush and kind of bring it down as if I were a little sunburned, but I'm gonna add blush to it. Just like that. I know it looks weird right now, but I will fix it. And then do the same to the other side of my face. Next, I'm gonna go in with some blush. My favorite lately has been the Dior Dior Backstage Rosy Glow, and this is in the shade Coral. Looks like this. And I'm using a little milk brush from Sephora. I don't think they sell these anymore, but these brushes were so good. And I'm just gonna get some blush. I like quite a bit. And the trick here is to go right in between. Can you still see this on camera? Right between where I put the concealer and the bronzer, I'm gonna go right in between here and kind of sweep it upwards in this kind of stroke, just like that. Kind of brushing it, sweeping it forward, so that it lightly goes onto your, whatever this part of your face is called. But it mostly is on your cheek, and you just sweep it forward. And this just kind of lifts. Once you have nothing left on the brush, you can try and blend it out a little bit. I just find that this lifts your face up instead of dragging it downwards. I'm also going to take this a little bit on my forehead and a lot on my nose. This will look a bit wild for a second. I want a little bit more orange, so I'm going to go in with Faded Clementine Heaven's Glow from M Cosmetics. It's kind of like in between a bronzer highlighter. And I'm just going to tap that in between my blush and bronzer just to get it a little bit more orangey. Going for more of an orange look today. Now blush fades the quickest, so I know it looks a little bit intense right now, but it will fade. So next for my nose, I'm going to go back into my powder and I'm going to bake it. This is a trick I saw Nikki Tutorials do, and it just made so much sense. So you're going to dip your beauty blender into your powder, and then you're going to just bake right alongside your nose. My bake is looking a little messy today. You can also bake underneath your cheek just to get that little line and kind of define your cheeks a little bit more. I don't let this sit for very long. I kind of just sweep it away. Arguably my favorite part of this makeup is this Hourglass Ambient Strobe palette. I mostly just use the, what is this one called? Pure Strobe and the pink one. These are backwards. I think this one's called Absolute Strobe, but these are so gorgeous. So I'm just taking a brush here and I kind of just get some product on. These look so natural, so if you're not into that like super glittery highlight, this is for you. It looks so natural. So I first start by just tapping this and kind of pressing it in and up my cheek, pretty much on the high point, and then we'll blend onto my brow bone and bring it up onto my forehead. I do be staying glowy with this. So if you want a more like in your face kind of glow after you tap over it, you could add a little more and kind of sweep it. And I really put this like right underneath my eye. I also take this on my chin, above my lip, and especially the tip of my nose, and then right, whatever this part of your nose is called. The bridge, I guess. Yeah, just like that. Usually I would add setting spray here, but now I don't. I go ahead and do my eyeshadow first, and I use the Going Coconuts palette. Look how disgusting this looks. I don't know what happened. It just sits here. Mine all fell out because I dropped this, so they're all like mixed up, but I'm gonna use this shade right here, and this shade, and what look am I gonna do today? Maybe a little bit of this shade, we'll see. They're in the wrong place though, so if you have the palette, just know those are messed up. So I'm gonna take that first shade, I think it's called Lovely Bunch, the lighter brown, and I'm gonna start underneath my brow, like directly in the front of my brow. Just like this, and really like dig that shade in there and kind of bring it down a little bit to my nose and back out here. And I am gonna bring it down onto the outer corner, just kind of like that. Once you start getting out here, you can wing it up a little bit, depending on the look that you're going for. Just like that. It's so, so simple. Taking that same shade, I'm just gonna brush it underneath my lower lash line. I love this like, kind of like supermodel, sleepy, lazy makeup day look. But really they're just like not wearing makeup. And I have to wear makeup to get that effect with my eyes. But that's okay. Next I'm gonna take this shade right here. Again, it's in the wrong spot, but the kind of light shade that's not as shimmery. And I'm just gonna pack this on the inner corner, so all the way from here and back onto the lid, just to add some brightness and kind of open the eye up right there. For the next part, very important, I'm gonna take this shade right here, the dark brown, in the palette, and I'm going to add this to the outer corner by just pressing this tiny brush. This is actually a Sigma winged liner brush, and I just press that onto the very outer corner where I kind of see fit, and I kind of make a wing out of it. Then I take the brush that I was using earlier and I just fluff over it to kind of blend it in back with the eye, but it gives that definition still, and then if you want, you can keep going over it. If you want like a true wing, you can just drag it up. I'm gonna show like multiple ways to do this look. Add a little bit of drama with a wing. Once you have like the general shape of your wing down, my favorite thing to do is have like nothing left on the brush and just kind of like flick it up to get that super fine pointed tip. Using that same dark brown, I'm gonna go right here in the front, kind of like on the inner corner, just to add a little depth there. It's almost not noticeable when you first do it, but once you add mascara, it really pulls it together and adds a little bit of something to the inner corner. So that's it for the eye. I'm actually going to add, where is it? I'm gonna add a little extra highlighter. I'm gonna use Champagne Pop. You could totally skip this, use a shade in the palette, or use the Hourglass that I was just using, or whatever you wanna use. I just find that this one's a little bit more golden, so I'm just gonna sweep this right over top of my brow bone and the eyeshadow that I blended up there, just for a little something extra. I know I'm kind of jumping all over the place, but now I'm gonna do my eyebrows. This is just how I've been doing my makeup lately. I really do like flip-flop all over the place to get to like the part that I wanna do next. So for my brows, I just brush them pretty much straight up. And I still use my Shape and Shade brow tint from MAC. Mine's in the shade Spiked. And I only use this side of the brush, and I kind of just go in the front and draw hairs straight up. I have a whole video on my eyebrows, by the way, so I'm gonna speed through this part. One thing I can say about eyebrows is that when you're doing the tail of your brow, to kind of like lift your eye, I know everybody's like going for that Bella Hadid like fox eye look, which is just pretty much an eyebrow pull of like, they take the eyebrows and like pull them like that, kind of like that. You don't want your tail of your brow to be underneath the front of your brow. So basically, I don't even have a piece of paper in here. Just use this little makeup brush. Wherever the front of your brow is, if you just do a straight line, you don't want the tail to go past it. So instead of drawing the line kind of like down and curving it, you just kind of want to go out as straight as you can with it. To set my brows, I still use my 24-hour brow setter from Benefit. I just haven't found anything like it. So I just brush through my brows one time, and then I dip back in and kind of like brush through like mascara. Kind of like shake the brush. Sometimes I even like squint. Not squint, what's this look called? I don't know. Do this face so that you can kind of like get the brow hairs to go where you want them. Which for me is like standing straight up. I kind of like when my brows clump together so that they can stick right up. Now before I do mascara, I do want to finish doing my face so that I can spray my setting spray. So I'm going to go in and do my little, okay, great. I'm going to do my faux freckles. I use Freck. This one's pretty much gone. I haven't opened my other one yet, so I just rub it together really fast in hopes that some of the product will like shake down onto the brush a little bit. And I just kind of do little tiny placements wherever I see fit. I know most people like to like tap it around, and I do that sometimes, but I kind of like the little like mole look, and I kind of wait for them to dry for a second and then just press over once or twice with my finger, depending on the shade you want those freckles to be. Might even just tap over with my highlight brush again. Make sure they're super natural. To finish off the face, setting spray. For me, Glow Spray. For mascara, I'm gonna go ahead and curl my eyelashes. So you could use a lighter and kind of get this warm and then wait for it to just be hot enough to where you can touch it and then curl your lashes. If your lashes tend to not stay curled, mine do stay curled. So I'm gonna just go ahead and curl them for a few seconds. I'll do one eye at a time so you can see the difference. Going in with the mascara, I'm using the Too Faced Better Than Sex, and I tend to focus on the outer corner first. And I just got some on my brow bone, wonderful, to get that in a second. And then I slowly work my way over to the inner corner. It's really hard to talk and concentrate on mascara at the same time. I kind of do 2 coats of mascara. Trick to getting off mascara, if you don't know, is to let it dry and then just take a brush and brush it away. Okay, so this is one eye with mascara. Now for lashes, I've talked about this before, but I just cut little chunks. You know, like when you trim your lashes to make them fit your eye, I take those chunks that I cut off and use them to do my eyelashes. So basically, this is a tiny chunk off of, I think it's a Rouge and Rogue Nirvana lash. And I'm just gonna like plop this right on the outer corner. Once the lash is just semi-dry, I'm just gonna stick it, how do I explain? So I'm not gonna stick it to the very end of my lash, but just right before it. Kind of like that. Hopefully you're able to see on camera. And then I'm gonna take tweezers and pinch together. Be careful if you're doing this. Mine still has a bit of lash glue drying on it, but I'm just gonna cover that with some of my dark brown shadow. Once you have the end of the lash on, which by the way, I just think it looks so natural. It doesn't look like, you know when you wear false lashes all the way like a strip and they like lift up in here, they don't sit right if you're not wearing eyeliner. I just feel like this looks so much better, at least for me. I just take a little bit more mascara and kind of blend those together just to make them look even more realistic, even though it's not very realistic to have a huge chunk of lash that's just like really nice and big. So I'm gonna do the other eye and I'll be right back. Okay, we're almost done. I know this video is like dragging on, but just trying to explain what I'm doing and then do it takes a little bit more time than usual. Usually I can do this in about 30 minutes or less getting ready. Now we just have the lip to do. So lately what I've been wearing is the, what is this called? Kylie Cosmetics Handbag Ho. This was with Khloe Kardashian collab. So the lip liner is pretty deep brown. And then the lipstick is kind of like this, I'd call it a peachy nude. I really love that, but today I want something orange, so I'm gonna do something that I don't normally do. But I get a lot of questions when I wear that lipstick, so I thought I'd just share. Another favorite is the Kylie Cosmetics Forever and Always lip liner, so I'm gonna go ahead and use this. So I did a whole video inspired by my friend Snitchery where, you know, she taught how to do lips and then I showed how I do it. I kind of do my lips a little bit different now and I've just found that it's like my perfect way of doing lips. So I start kind of like, I need to be closer. I start right in the Cupid's bow like this. And just like super, super overline. Only right here in this like front chunk of your lip. And then I bring it down and don't overline over here. So that's what that looks like on one side. And then for the bottom, I'll just try and do one side so you can see it. I'm gonna start, how do I say this? I'm gonna start, oh no, I have a zip right here. That hurts. I'm gonna start not right here where most would normally like go ahead and draw the line right there. I'm gonna go inwards a little bit, but I'm gonna start in the center. So overline here. Kind of like drawing a line underneath. And then going up, but not all the way into that corner. So you almost kind of like cut your own lip off in the corner. So that's pretty much what it looks like when you do both sides. Ignore my zit on this side. Where did that even come from? It's like bright red now. Wonderful. So like I said, I want to do something kind of orangey today. So I'm going to go in with this Fenty lipstick in Pumpkin Rose. One of my favorites. It's like orange. And I'm just going to kind of like press it over. I don't want my lip to be full on orange, I just want the tint. So I put it on the outer sections, just kind of like that. And then I just take my finger. This is just an extra step, but I also have the Fenty lipstick in Up to No Good. And I'm just gonna put that on the very center for a little pop. By the way, last time I checked, all these Fenty lipsticks were on like half off on Sephora. So I will link everything down below as always, check it out. The last step in this look, you could leave it here if you just want a matte look, but I've been really loving this lip gloss lately. This is Alimony by House Labs, and it has like a yellowish tint to it, so it does give you more of an orange look, which is what I want today. I did do a whole video on this gloss, swatching it and everything, all the colors. And this is it. This is the finished look. Let me take these clips out of my hair. So that's gonna be it for me in this video today. I hope you learned something new. Try out some of these tips and tricks. I swear, this is how I do my makeup every day, and I get so many compliments on my face. Everyone's asking me what foundation I'm wearing, how I'm doing my makeup, so I'm so glad that I could put this together for you guys. This is how I've been doing my makeup for the past 2 months now. Who's counting? I've lost track. But I really hope you enjoyed. If you do try out any of these tips or tricks, let me know in the comments or on Instagram which ones you liked. Or if you have any tips and tricks that you want to share with me, you can also leave that in the comments. I'm not going to say tips and tricks again. Anyways, don't forget to follow me on Instagram and TikTok if you don't already. Also subscribe if you haven't already. I'm uploading multiple times a week now. Mostly been uploading on Sundays and Thursdays, but we'll see if I stick to that or if I kind of switch it up. But yeah, that's gonna be it. So I hope you enjoyed. I'll see you next time. Bye.
Why do you drive?